We recently learned that Marvel Studios decided to cut a huge episode of Marvel's What If focusing on Spider-Man. And the reason this was cut is because it was too bleak, too dark, and too similar to the concept it was based on, aka Children of Man. So we don't have the full details on exactly what was going on in the entirety of this episode, and it kind of makes sense that we don't because of circumstances surrounding it and how secretive Marvel Studios is with everything that gets scrapped. But they do confirm that Season 2 did originally feature Spider-Man. There was a Spider-Man-centric episode. It was removed, so obviously there was a lack of Spider-Man. And it's now been confirmed that this episode was removed due to the depressing nature, the dark nature, and the fact that it took away from a lot of the elements that were making Season 2 a little bit more fun and interesting. That this was sort of a whiplash effect. And they even say that this was essentially what we ended up internally calling Children of Man with Spider-Man. Now, if you're not aware of what Children of Man is, it is a, I don't know, probably like 15, 20-year-old film now, starring Clive Owen, and it is a film about, well, no birth of children in the future. And suddenly one is born, and it is an absolutely depressing, apocalyptic, dystopian, not a fun movie to watch if you want to watch something fun. It's a tremendous film, but again, you got to be in the right headspace, featuring a absolutely insane one-shot sequence that I recommend everybody watches. So, if they were going in line with that, I can understand why you would scrap it. You don't want to drop an episode that makes you depressed and question life in the middle of a, hey, fun what-if scenario for Marvel. That just doesn't seem on brand. It just doesn't fit, in my opinion, especially with the tone of most of What If. Especially if you consider that Spider-Man in nature is a little bit more optimistic and hopeful, and you throw him into an episode where optimism and hope is thrown out the door in the window and set on fire and then run over with whatever's left. Like, you don't want that. I certainly don't want that. We don't need the Zack Snyderification of Spider-Man. That's the last thing we need. Which I assume is what Sony will give us when they introduce their Spider-Man, so one step at a time.